Many of you may be familiar with the Sith Troopers seen in Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker as Palpatine's personal army that aided in the rise of the Final Order. But there was once a group of ancient Sith Troopers created before Palpatine was even born. This is the story of the Sith Troopers who posed an immense threat to the Jedi Order of the Old Republic, Darth Krayt's Sith Troopers. So before we get into the video, remember to smash the subscribe button for more deep Star Wars theory and lore just like this. The Sith Lord Darth Krayt, whose story I'll be covering in a future video because it's such an amazing story, was the leader of the One Sith Order. The One Sith Order was a splinter group from the Sith Order that was raised after the fall of the Galactic Republic and the rise of Emperor Palpatine. This new One Sith Order was a highly organised group of dark side force users that were trained from birth and were required to possess absolute loyalty to its leader, Darth Krayt. Darth Krayt began his Sith Trooper project decades before the One Sith Order had managed to take control of the galaxy. Krayt's experience witnessing the fall of Emperor Palpatine and his comprehensive study of dark side holocrons on Korriban led him to realise that other dark side users would eventually seek to destroy him and gain his power. Krayt began the Sith Trooper project so that he could ensure that he held a strong grip on his new One Sith Empire through a loyal and almost undefeatable army. The soldiers that were trained by Krayt were fused with robots and cybernetic implants from their infancy so that they would have superior aim, vision and foresight on the battlefield. Most of these troopers were genetically modified from birth so that they would have a monstrous advantage against all enemies that they would come up against. Krayt even went as far as cybernetically fusing his Sith troopers to the circuitry of their Annihilator class starfighters, meaning that they were one with their ships. This allowed the pilots to control their ships and fire their guns solely with their minds. Darth Krayt's Sith Troopers were housed in a top secret location in the Valley of the Dark Lords, located on Korriban. The valley was the ancient burial ground of the Sith Lords of Korriban, originally constructed by the planet's natives as a burial ground for their kings. In a demonstration of absolute loyalty, one of the Sith Troopers took his own life after Darth Krayt ordered him to. Soon after this took place, Darth Krayt made a voyage to Coruscant where he hoped to seek revenge against Darth Wyerlok. Darth Wyerlok had assumed control of the One Sith and the Empire at large after the supposed death of Krayt, angering him and leading him into retribution. On his mission, Krayt was accompanied by Darth Talon and Darth Nihil, as well as two of his most elite Sith Troopers. As the group marched towards Coruscant's Temple of the Sith Troopers killed countless traitors to Krayt, showing no mercy in ending their lives. The Sith Troopers had shown themselves to be extremely capable warriors with no apprehension to killing anyone that Darth Krayt wished. Months later, another assault was made on Darth Krayt's leadership, with the unloyal Sith and Darkside users attacking the hidden Jedi temple on the planet Tyvas. Although Krayt was outnumbered and even outmatched, he had a secret weapon. His elite group of Sith Troopers were called upon and able to decimate the forces of the rogue Sith. Krayt's Sith Troopers took part in air warfare as well as an on-the-ground assault to ensure victory for their Dark Lord. One of the Sith Troopers that was piloting a starfighter took a dive into the main building of the Jedi Temple, creating a large chain reaction of death and destruction within the structure. The temple rapidly collapsed with a plume of smoke, killing Nat Skywalker and head of the Jedi Temple. The Sith Troopers continued their attack on the temple while an elite group of 3 formed a strike team to enter the temple. After waging a long battle that was ultimately held in a stalemate for many weeks, Darth Krayt was killed in battle. His loyal Sith Troopers became enraged and many of them making suicide bombing runs at any moving target. The troopers dropped their weapons and rushed in with a strong battle cry, hoping to join their lord in the afterlife. The Sith Trooper pilots plunged their fighters into the ground, hoping to take as many victims with them as possible, creating great casualties on both sides. The destructive actions of these Sith Troopers became so overwhelming for both sides of the conflict that they eventually declared a ceasefire and joined forces to fight the Sith Troopers. The resilient Sith Troopers held their ground, now fighting both their friends and enemies at once. Eventually, Darth Nihil took control of the remaining Sith loyalists and destroyed both Krayt's Sith Troopers and the Jedi Resistance. That was the story of the incredibly resilient and loyal Sith Troopers that were commanded by the Sith Lord, Darth Krayt. If you enjoyed the video, remember to smash the subscribe button as well as leaving a massive like on the video. Leave a comment down below telling me if you'd like to hear more about Darth Krayt in a future video. He's got one of the most amazing stories in all of Star Wars Legends, so let me know if you want to see that covered. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers guys.